Hello and welcome to the Handy Capable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Okay, yeah, I don't even know what I'm gonna title this whatsoever, but we're getting to the point where that voting day is coming. I already voted. Whoop whoop, disability representation, the mail got it, mailed it, we're good. So I'm still stressing, but I'm good. Like, even though I did what I need to do, yeah, my heart's still like, whew, I can't believe we have. Okay, um, this is only gonna hurt if you aligned with one of these titles, but I am very surprised, shocked, and this shows America's miseducation and the hatred, the vitriol, the bigotry with how tight it's getting. And the funny thing is, because I only date Democrat, progressive, liberal men, Republicans have the nerve to call me a bigot. I'm like, nah, like you need to look up the definition because, yeah, you can be any nationality, race, creed, like color, whatever, and be Democrat or Republican or the Green Party or whatever. So, nice try, but basically, I'm just kind of doing a run through of since so many on the dating apps hate on me because I like the filter. I like to save my time. So to save my time, if you are Republican, MAGA, Trump supporter, just leave me be. But it's so crazy how many of them write me. And how many of them try to tell me what I'm supposed to do, how I'm supposed to think, and that I'm not a woman enough. Do you know how many men have called me trans? They say that I must be trans because, and I love my LGBTQ, the trans community. What? Okay, I love and adore, but I'm not trans. But because I am in support of my LGBTQ community, I get hate on it. And then I get ridiculed and I get told that I need to eliminate. Men have literally told me I need to eliminate myself from the earth because I'm not a genuine, true woman and that I have no place on this earth. And no wonder nobody wanted to make babies and children with me because of my political thoughts and or thank God you don't have kids because at least you won't be able to take any to drag shows. These are the type of messages I'm getting on a daily basis, and I think it has slowed up the last 4 or 5 days. I think like I shared, if you've been listening to my episodes, if not, check out the episode. If you're racist and you know it, clap your hands. I just posted that one a couple days ago. But yeah, that guy called me the N-word more than once and I can't it's like but then he blocked me, but it's so I can't open the full message. And I wrote to meet me twice and they refused to give me the rest of the message and or access or any like, and part of me is just like, okay, so people are allowed to do this and then they block me, so then I can't block, like they can unblock me whenever they want and do it again because other users do this. They literally write me hateful, awful garbage and then they block me. And sometimes I open it in time to read it, but then I can't get to their profile because they blocked me. And then when I get out of it, I can't get back in. So if I have to so I have to literally remember, screenshot it now before I forget because I won't be able to get back to the message. And it's really sad that that's how my brain works now, where it's like I'm like, just in case, screenshot it. But then they unblock me when they're like, oh, I want to harass her again. I want to tell her to off herself. I want to tell her that I hope someone does, or I hope a group of men do a train on her. Yeah, without her permission, and yeah, I've gotten so many messages, and all of these are from MAGA men. Every single one are from MAGA men. But they wonder why I'm not voting towards a person like their role model loves being able to grab women by the you know what the jewels, like, well, okay, men are known to have the jewels, but we have like the precious jewel that men want to get. We have the cave where the jewels are kept. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know, you're too young to watch this. Okay, but I'm going to be showing screenshots throughout this, and I might even need to add more screens that are silent, and it's probably going to be a part 2 as well, because I'm gonna try to enlarge them to make sure you can read each word from some of these, and I'm gonna try to make sure I add new ones, because like I said, I have so many in my phone, but I'm trying to get back into them, and then I need to delete. So let's just say there's gonna be a lot of hours on Threads and Instagram throughout the end of this year, because I need to just load them up, and Pinterest. But yeah, I don't think, yeah, it's like a lot of people don't really pay attention to them on Pinterest, but I'm gonna load them up anyway. But anyway, so all of that being said, when I'm getting called the N word and this person is MAGA, because even in the message, you're like, so you think some white Republican's gonna want a no good N word? And actually, I can probably quote it because, well, while I talk, I'll see if I can multitask and find it, find the message verbatim. It was just about a week ago. But anyway, you know what? It's like, I'll just put it in there. I'm not going to do that. But then men telling me that, why do you have standards? Me as a woman, why does why does a woman like myself with my age have standards when I'm nothing but dried up, and now a man has no use for me anyway? Hmm. It's like, that one's already posted in an episode, but I'm going to repost it in this one. And then some men, they try to put that religious trauma, masculinity, alpha male, misogynistic, imbecile, just uneducated drivel to me. Like, there was this one guy, well, I'll put it like, there's so many to the point where I just feel like, ah, yeah, it's like I might just have to do even a slideshow. Actually, I might do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay, anyway. But when, after I wrote my list of standards, and if you're new, my list of standards are, you we can be friends if you don't meet these standards, but for me to date you, you one cannot be a MAGA Republican Trump supporter. Two, you have to be vaccinated, because most of the people, like, you could be like, some people are Democrat and vaccinated. That's why I added it to the list, because I've even had some idiots. Oh, so it's like, baby, you have to be vaccinated. Oh, so just because we're Trump supporting, it's like non-mask wearing, like, we have the common sense to not be vaccinated, and you're stupid enough to get the jab. Oh, you got the jab, so you're gonna like die anyway. So why would we want to date a woman like you? You're just gonna die. Then you're gonna leave the kids to us. You're supposed to be taking care of the kids. Why are you gonna leave the kids to us? You were selfish to say. And I was just like, be quiet. And there's some Democratic men, or some men that are Democratic, but they're voting for Trump because of the requirement of getting the quote unquote jab. Because within African American history, there were medications and things in our past that were tested on African Americans on purpose. And where they had horrific side effects, but they didn't care about the side effects on Black people because we were basically their test subjects. We were their rats, their mice, and things like that. And so there are some Black men who try to attack me and talk to me like I'm an idiot and fool when I'm like, okay, you don't understand. I know my history. Okay, so if we differ in that, we're not going to argue. And so they have to be vaccinated. I need to date someone that is vaccinated because that's going to save some time and some non yelling or arguing or fighting or whatever like that, because when I go get my booster or whatever, I don't want him trying to mock me, like, because I there was one guy that I matched with who was a Democrat, and when I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get my booster, and he was just like, why the crap, or like he started swearing or whatever, but why the f, or like, why are you doing that, you're so stupid, why are you doing that, and oh, I didn't know you're a waste of time. And but okay, then there's some other guys who think Trump is not a racist, and so I'm like, okay, what did he call Africa? What did he call Africa? It's like he wants to call Africa what he called it, while people from other countries keep stealing. Like, what? Like, if you go to certain museums, how many of those artifacts are from Africa? And then some of the largest gems in the world. What country did they? What continent? Like, let's look at this continent. Which continent has some of the rarest metals? Yeah. But then also, which country had to go through the apartheid and because of colonialism, and like how, like, almost, do you know how many countries are like, if you go through the entire year, almost every day is filled with an Independence Day because of how Europeans colonized, took over, and either captured or enslaved or mistreated the people of those lands, including Africa. And then with the apartheid, but then he wants to call it an S-hole country, and it's just like, yeah, okay, so stop getting the materials for the cell phones and things. Okay, stop getting certain items for like some of the electric vehicle, like, yeah, stop saying, like, stop putting these people down. And especially with some of the technologies and some of the companies that are coming up in Africa, yeah, you might need to slow your roll and be, yeah, yeah. So and then when he had the with the COVID shot, what did he call it? And then which demographic were getting hurt, traumatized, and violence placed on them? And what did he talk? What did he say about Kaepernick and other football players that were kneeling? Peaceful protest. Peaceful, like, even if you disagree with it, it's like when it's peaceful, you have an issue with it. But then once, like, and oh, I think they said like around less than 8%, it was around 8% of the Black Lives Matter protests had any type of violence. And then they even found like counter protesters, Trump, MAGA people were doing some, like, they were arrested for doing some of the damage that was, and the blame was placed on BLM. And then people kept saying Black Lives Matter was racist. No, we are literally saying that our lives matter. I told you guys about stories that when I got pulled over because of my college tassel, graduation tassel, and I was groped by a police officer. My first time getting pulled over, because it was a rainy day and I was leaving a, I think, let's see, I think it was a pie promo at Costco or whatever. I was on my way home. It was pouring rain, but this car behind me was literally riding my bumper. And one of the times we're at a stoplight, or I get up to the stoplight, this guy behind me is so close, he literally had to swerve to avoid me. But then he kept doing it. And so to try to get away from him, it was a yellow light, but I was so close that it's like I went, it's like it didn't turn red, nothing. So I went through it, and the cop didn't pull the guy over, like even though the police car was near, like he saw this car swerve. But did he pull them over? No. He pulled me over for running, like trying to run a red light. And I was like, it wasn't red, it was yellow. And I was doing what was safe because the car behind me was like literally, like, he almost hit me the first time. And then he called me the N word, gave me a ticket, and there was a witness because there was a guy, like I'm literally in tears crying at the gas station because that's, I like, if I was going to get pulled over it was going to be in a lit area, and there was another guy at the gas station and he heard everything that the police officer said, and he saw me crying when the police officer drove off because he waited for the police to drive off. And I can't blame him. And I remember he came up to me, he was like, okay, I know I can't, it's like, I'm so sorry how he just treated you, but it's like, can I at least get you a drink? It's like, can I get you something to help calm you down? And it's like, he ran and got me a Kleenex, or one of those packets of Kleenexes too. And it's like, he rubbed my back and he was like, it's okay, it's okay. It's like, and he's like, I'm not here to harm you. It's like, I'm just, and I just remember I was like, it was like, no, 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 it's because I needed somebody. And I was just like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's like, I remember when he asked me, like, even when he asked me what flavor soda, when I said peach or pineapple, he was like, they got those? And he got one too, and he starts drinking it. He was like, oh, he was like, okay, you taught me something new. And I remember it's like, I kind of started laughing. I was still crying, but laughing. But I remember that moment. But it's like, people don't understand why people like myself. Because I remember I told the story of the college graduation test on my car to my ex boyfriend's mother. I told the story, I told, I think, the full story before, and I'm probably going to repeat it again. But after I told her, she looked right at me and just said, well, you're just so beautiful. He needed, like, and I've had three basic white women tell me this. And yeah, sorry, I said basic because these women, you know you're racist and you know you're awful when, instead of having empathy and actually like thinking, if I was in this person's shoes, what would I think? But instead they're like, well, you're so beautiful. The police officer had to have a reason to pull you over. And I remember my ex's mom went even a step further. Oh, well, there's probably not many of you in his city. And it's like, he had to at least know, like, just see if maybe you were a match with him. And I remember my ex, and I was like, I already knew I was going to break up with him, but I remember this no good fool got up from his chair and went upstairs. It's like, really? Oh, so you're really going to leave me alone with your racist mother? And so I remember I was like, oh, okay. So when this happens to your daughter, then it's just going to be because she's so beautiful. Oh, she was so insulted. What? What? What are you talking about? What do you mean? I mean, she said other stuff too. So if that doesn't annoy you, she said other stuff like, because she was like, well, it's like maybe they were shocked that it was a college tassel. It's like, remember, you only got into college because you're black. And it's like, whenever she had an opportunity, she had the nerve to say that. But I was nice enough to not remind her that her children dropped out of college. So sometimes I wonder if it was because she's just a basic, or because she was upset that her white children dropped out, but I was able to not only finish my bachelor's but go back for my master's, and then after that go back for my second master's. Was she that upset and jealous? I'll never know, because I never want to see or talk to that woman ever again. But yeah, I remember when Black Lives Matter became a thing and it was growing and stuff. And on Facebook, his mother, same woman, and his oldest sister, is no good. And I remember she just left her husband to, like, 'cause she was having an affair with this other guy, and there was some drama. And part of me was just like, how come everyone in your family keeps cheating on everybody? It's like everybody in your family is like, except for the youngest daughter. I think she's the only, like, well, hopefully she's still with her husband and everything, but like everyone else, oh, it's messy. And yeah, this same messy family, the mom, one night, she like she always has hidden reasons, but she told me why each one of her children ended up in jail. And then she said it was my turn. And I remember looking at her, I was like, what? She was like, well, you need to tell me about all of the times you and your sisters have been in jail. We've never been to jail, none of us. She was so upset. But yeah, I'm gonna be showing tons of screenshots or whatever, but it's like, and oh, I'm gonna have an episode too because uh there was one of my favorite YouTubers. She talks about relationships and men and everything like that. She just had this post about how this one guy had the nerve to say, you're a slave to your school, you're a slave to your education. And it was just like, what? Excuse me. And she cut him off. But I replied because I go through that all the time. If you've been listening to my podcast or my YouTube channel, you already know that I've had men tell me, oh, so if you're going to go to school, I don't want anything to do with you. But if you're willing to drop out of grad school, then we can date. Especially like black men, stop doing that. Black men, stop doing that. And yeah, some people are going to just say men. Yeah, men, period, too. But especially like, do you know how many years we were not allowed to go to college? We were not allowed to get the upper education. We were not allowed to start a business. And they're still trying to stop us from getting businesses. It's like black women get like less than 1% of business loans. Most of us have to start from the bottom. Literally from because that's what I'm doing. I'm literally starting with pennies. I'm literally like figuring out, how can I do this? Okay, save this, do this. Okay, with this website I can create and do this to the point where I can save this amount and do this. And you don't know the puzzle that we are like creating. But a lot of, especially my, like, I mean, and there's wonderful, great, amazing black men out there, but for some reason I'm not good enough for them, I've noticed. But anyway, it is what it is. I kind of get used to it. But most of the black men that try to get my attention, it's just like, oh, hmm, all right, yeah, okay, yeah, no, no, thank you. So yeah, but if you've listened to my episodes, if you've seen the screenshots, you know, but I'm going to put the screenshots here too. And again, I'm going to try to find some new ones to add on here. But it's really sad that I already have enough to put on here, but I do have new ones. But then, if you're going to vote for somebody that is cheering on and you like that someone appreciates Nazi and Hitler and set, like they say they want to be a dictator on day one, and you like someone who is a bully, someone who's going to mock people with disabilities. His nephew told us, he wrote it in his book, that Trump told him that he should just let his nephew pass away and people with disabilities should just leave the earth. But a lot of people who are voting, they're okay with that. You guys are okay with that. And that's more of a reason for me, like, when people get offended that I will not date someone that is a Republican, instead they should thank me. Like, okay, not literally thank me, but they should be appreciative that we have nothing in common, because I am for being able to have my tax dollars feed the hungry especially the kids in school. If they need breakfast, if they need lunch, okay, let's give them that breakfast. Let's give them that lunch. And that's one reason I love Mrs. Obama, because she was trying to make sure they were healthier lunches. We still got a ways to go, but with the amount of money that we have for each lunch, it's like, hey, she did her thing. But I see I'm already running out of time. So this is the Handy Capable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handy capable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too. I am just trying to do what I can, because some people are like, what's the big deal? I was like, or they say that they are MAGA or mega MAGA and all of these other things, but it's just, I need to stay clear of that, because I don't like bullies. I don't like bigots. I don't like people who support Nazism or Hitler. It's like, and if you're gonna vote for this guy, that's what you are supporting bullies. You are supporting hatred. You are supporting like people who have no problem raping women. You have no problem with people taking and stealing as much money as humanly possible. It's like people keep saying he's a businessman. Yeah, how many times did he file for bankruptcy? He grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. He grew up a millionaire, but then he bankrupted a casino. And how many products is he trying to sell to you guys right now? And what did he do to his first ex-wife? Where did he bury her in order to save on tax dollars? But you guys keep saying he's the next coming of God or Jesus. Like, make it make sense. Why would he, like, he did that? And or like, okay, in my opinion, just in case, in my opinion, but it's on Inside Edition, and like there's a lot of stories to talk about how he's saving tax dollars because he buried her where he buried her. So anyway, I'm it's crazy how close it is, and at the same time it shows me that as I start trying to make friends again and get out there in the world, I have to be careful, because like already as a woman I have to be careful, already as a black person I have to be careful, and as a person with a disability, people are going to try to take advantage of me or pity me or take things away or say I don't deserve anything. But then as a black woman with a disability, all three combined, yeah, this country, this I have to be careful around this country. I have to look over my shoulder everywhere I go when I'm here, because I don't know who I'm going to be able to trust. Because we have people literally hoping that we have this dictator wannabe. We have someone who praises and loves, like people who his a portion of his demographic are flying Nazi signs. Yeah, or have Nazi collections. It's really sad how many times I'm saying that word. Okay. But anyway, I will do a part two, because I still have so much on this topic. But if when you're going to vote, do your research, know who you're voting for. And I'm not just talking to white people. I know black people, Hispanic people, Arabic people, and like or Middle Eastern who are going to be voting for him. And yeah, I speechless, but I know some of each that are voting for him, and especially the Christian community. It's like where I go to church, my pastor, my bishop, they're voting for him. And it's like I shouldn't know that, but the way they preach and the way they put down the Democratic Party, and how yeah, they're on Fox News sometimes. But yeah, anyway, yeah, yeah. I'll end it there.